Chapter 1. The start of something big. I could feel myself growing colder by the second, both inside and out. I was sure that the tears that trailed down my cheeks and hit the ground became ice in less than a second. So this is what it felt like to slowly be freezing to death. Something roared loudly, and the ground shook as a shadow became apparent in the mist. Eyes glowing yellow. If possible, the air grew even colder the larger it became. Now my body slowly began to freeze, becoming covered in ice as the giant shadowy figure loomed over me. I couldn't help it. I broke down completely and started screaming, but its roar drowned me out. "No!" I shouted. It took a while for me to open my eyes and notice that I was in my little room, in my bed, drenched in sweat. "Just a dream," I stuttered. Getting up out of bed and walking over to the mirror dresser on the other side of the room, I stared at my reflection in the mirror, my long brown hair a mess from tossing and turning in my sleep. My blue eyes reflected irritation from that awful nightmare. White, and that irritation increased when my brother Black burst through the door of my room. He looked like he had just woken up too, because his hair was a mess and he was dressed in a simple black shirt and boxers with little Pikachu printed on them. "The day has finally arrived," he exclaimed, his little brown eyes shining brightly. "That's very nice, Black. Now put on some pants and get out of my room," I told him flatly without even sparing him a glance, and pointed at him. "Now!" "But, Black, what are you doing not wearing your pants?" I heard Mother scold the idiot from out in the hallway. "Go put some clothes on." Alright, jeez. You'd think I was the only one excited about this." Black mumbled to himself, looking depressed as he closed the door. "Moron," I mumbled as I picked up a brush and began to brush my hair. I grabbed a scrunchie and put my hair up into a bushy ponytail. I took a deep breath and sighed before looking at the calendar on the wall. Today's date had been circled with a red marker, and at some point, probably black, and the words, "First Pokemon," were written in the circle. Oh no. Later downstairs, the family had sat down to breakfast. Me and Black were still in our pajamas, Black now wearing pajama pants, while Mom was already wearing her day clothes. "Why don't you want to come?" Black complained. "Why?" I asked before drinking my juice. "Because it's a growing experience." I arched an eyebrow at him. "Between the two of us, you think I'm the one in need of a growing experience?" You could see new places." Black immediately changed his answer. "You want to see the world, don't you?" "I can see it just fine over the internet." "Then you'll be able to get over your phobia." I twitched and kicked my brother in the shin. "Ow." "You know by now that your sister doesn't like to talk about that, Black. Leave her alone about it today, okay?" Mum told him. "Besides, you'll have Sharon and Bianchi with you." "Nope, at least not Sharon," Black muttered under his breath. "What's wrong? Did you two get in a fight again?" I don't even know why she asked that question. Black and Sharon fought at least once a week, from arguments about whether or not there was a human life on other planets, to fights about who would be the better Pokemon trainer. A fight was inevitable, which made life around the two somewhat annoying. Black suddenly seemed to have flames burning in his eyes, or maybe that was just a reflection of light. "Sharon is my rival. Rivals can't go on journeys together. They have to go their own way and live their own lives, meeting up for long and arduous battles in which there can only be one victor." By the end of his little speech, Black was standing on top of his chair and holding a fist to the ceiling. Talk about being overdramatic. "That's nice, sweetie. So long as you two aren't angry at each other," Mum said with a smile before she went back to eating her scrambled eggs. "Now sit down and finish your breakfast." As Black sat back down, there was a knock at the front door. "Coming." Mum got up from her seat and walked over to the door. She opened the door, saying, "How may I help you?" Standing in the doorway was a Pidgeot. At first glimpse of the bird Pokemon, I froze and felt the urge to run, but my legs were pretty much unwilling to move. My brother, of course, reacted the way only people like him would. to the sight of a Pokemon from a completely different region. Wow, a Pidgeot! It's so cool! He swooned. Yes, Black, a boy, swooned at the sight of a Pokemon. He was what some may call a Pokemaniac. He watched shows on Pokemon, he played games with Pokemon, collected Pokemon memorabilia. The boy was obsessed in a way no 15-year-old should be. Black jumped out of his seat to see the Pidgeot up close, but had already taken off by the time he reached the door. He slumped over in depression over not getting a look, while I gave a sigh of relief and felt the feeling come back to my legs. I could hear people gasping and all right outside our house. Mum closed the door and turned around holding a small cardboard box in her hands. "What is it, Mum?" my brother asked, getting over his non-existent time with a Pidgeot. He gave his mother a suspicious look. "You didn't send out for anything from the Home Shopping Network again, did you?" "Don't be silly, I haven't done that for a week." "Exactly." She looked down at the package. "It's addressed to White." At that, I blinked in confusion. "Who would send something to me?" "It's from your father." "Oh, great." I put on my best emotionless face as I watched Mum put the box down in front of me. My mum and brother were staring at me expectantly. "Well, aren't you going to open it?" "No, I'm going to drop kick it into the sea," was what I wanted to say. Instead, I silently gave in to my family's stares and opened the box. Inside was a Pokeball with a piece of Pikachu print stationery. I picked up the stationery and opened it. "To White, here's an early birthday present. Love, Dad." I looked back down at the Pokeball in the box and flinched visibly. "Something wrong?" I heard Mum ask. Black, you want this?" I spoke quickly, holding up the Pokeball. I was eager to get the thing and its contents away from me as soon as possible. "Is that?" my brother began. "Wait! Don't you think it's a bit unfair to your father to just give your gift away?" Mum scolded me. Why not see what's inside it before you try giving it away?" I gulped. My hand shook as it slowly reached inside and took the Pokeball out. It felt like an eternity until Black spoke. "Will you open it already? I gotta go and get dressed before." The front door opened once more, only this time someone burst in. "Black!" It was Bianca, a blonde girl who was one of her childhood friends. Her shouting made everyone jump, including me, and as a result the Pokeball in my hand dropped to the floor. "Let's go to the lab together." The Pokeball opened and released something in a flash of light. When the light faded, the Pokemon inside was shown. Standing in front of the ball was a small yellow mouse-like with little black tips on its ears and red-tinged cheeks. Its big brown eyes were staring up at me. "Cool, a Pichu. You can't even find those in Unova," Black stated. "Aw, it's adorable," Mum cooed. The Pichu continued staring at me. In a few seconds its large eyes were shimmering with what appeared to be instant affection. "Mommy?" It ran forward and clung to my leg, rubbing its face against it. I was already shaking and sweating before that, so by the time it hugged me, my eyes rolled at the back of my head, and I fainted.